Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
Don't run! Murife! Murife, don't run! Hey!
And today, excuse me in advance for the acne, this last weekend I went to Washington, D.C.'s MLK weekend turn up. Yes, Nico, I was hosting another event. If you do not know, I usually host deviant events and or other events within New York City. So if you're interested in turning up with Nico, make sure to check out my Instagram. But if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help with the algorithm. And also check out the Patreon where you can find exclusive videos, weekly lives, and be a part of the podcast, which is airing every Thursday, 3:30 CDT time. Nico, I set it up. I think I'm still running on CD time, so just expect it to roll out tomorrow so that there's full of content before the Friday video. But now that we got all the plugging out of the way, let's actually get started. So today we are going to be talking about something which is fairly interesting. Nico, we're talking about bisexual content. Nico, how does this relate to the standard gay content? It's because some of your favorite quote-unquote gay content creators who are actually bisexual to pansexual have started to release bisexual content, and there is a backlash on both the gay and the straight side of things. Nico, what are you talking about? So if you did not know, I believe last week Jacobi, Krave Melanin, and Ms.Sapphire released a super happy adult fun time party with the three of them. Nico, yes, Jacobi was eating coochie cat. Jacobi was eating booty cat. Jacobi was eating peen. Nico, why do you say it like that? Because I personally did not know Jacobi was bisexual and or pansexual until this content rolled out. And honestly, I was happy with the content. They all look like they were enjoying themselves. It looks like it was an amazing chemistry. It looks like they were having fun. But as per usual, there was pushback, but not only for the gay content creators, but for Ms.Sapphire. And I wanted to focus on that duality because it's so interesting because she had to set everybody straight. Because when she posted the collaboration, which clearly showed it was a bisexual collaboration, the straight men in her comments were saying that she needs to get tested and it's time for them to log out. They don't care about the content no more and they're over her. And, she's just trying to catch HIV and AIDS and just derogatory, inflammatory comments about her to her. And she had to come online and set things straight. So I'm going to play that video and then I'm going to come back with my little rant.
Now, let's talk about the double standards because it's fucking crazy. Like, y'all can sit here and say, I like girls that like girls, but I can't say I like men that like men. Y'all forget that I'm not straight. I just don't promote it because the world is fucking judgmental. But if I had, and I hate labels, but if I had to pick a label, I would be pansexual. That's very much explains me to the fucking T because I like people for their energies. If I like your energy, I like your energy. I don't care if you are a man that likes men and women. I don't care if you're a woman that is lesbian or a woman that likes men and women. I don't care if you're a trans woman. Like, I don't care. What I see is energy. What I see is your heart. So if I am attracted to your energy, I don't care about anything else. And that is the definition of being pansexual. But you guys don't know that. And you guys expect me to be straight and do straight stuff or allow only lesbian stuff on my shit. Like, that's so unfair to me. So unfair. Now, let's talk about the ignorance of STDs in my comments. Y'all screaming HIV like HIV discriminates. STDs don't discriminate. We all can get STDs. Straights, lesbians, gays, it don't matter. And the funny part is when I go to the clinic to get tested, which is very often because as a sex worker, that's what we have to do. We have to get tested before we work with somebody and share results. So we're clean on this side. But whenever I go to the clinic, I see way more gay men in there than straight men. And that should tell you everything. I'm pretty sure y'all straight men don't remember the last time you got...
So, as you saw in that video, she basically said she is pansexual. Whether somebody is straight, homosexual, bisexual, cisgendered, transgendered, etc. It does not matter to her necessarily. She vibes off of energy and moves forward from there. So she said she enjoyed the energy and she decided to make content, and it's always okay for her when she says she likes girls that likes girls, but If she says she likes guys that likes guys, suddenly people are turned off and it's a blatant double standard. And people want her to basically pander to the straight male gaze via straight content. And if it is queer related, they want it to be lesbian based so that they can basically use them as a sexual fantasy rather than seeing them as two individuals having an intimate moment. So the fact that she added in two queer men, no matter where they sit on the spectrum, and engaged with both of them in both unprotected but also intimate lovemaking, it turned a lot of her straight male viewers off. Meanwhile, I have not seen too much backlash from gay men, which is surprising just because there is extreme biphobia within the LGBT community. And I understand it usually stems from the fear of being a sexual placeholder while a bisexual person is actively going to date the opposite gender. But in this particular situation, I have not seen too many people whacking Jacobi and or Krave Melanin for doing bi content. But it does bring up the conversation as to why a lot of people complain when it comes to bi content creators. They always say, well, why don't we see you with bisexual content? Why don't we see you making movies with women? Why don't we see you making movies with, different people outside of your own gender? And it's because there is a blatant bias and biphobia that comes with it. Because as we saw with Ms.Sapphire, who caught most of it because as the woman, she was the full-on receptive partner in the scene, she was instantly demonized and viewed as quote unquote tainted because she had sexual intercourse with openly bisexual men. And she made a good point where she basically had to state, when we go get tested, because we're sex workers and we have to get tested before we collaborate with someone new and show them the results. Like I always tell you guys, if you are talking about a professional sex worker, someone like an actual porn star and not just a local OnlyFans guy with maybe 200 followers that's just sleeping with people in his area, they are usually under a regimen of testing and preventative medications such as PrEP, Doxy Prep, or PEP if you possibly have an interaction with someone who is positive and you're not on PrEP. People who actively see this as a career and a serious job actively go get tested. And I've actually showed y'all my results and us getting tested in Brazil, etc. beforehand. So I wanted you to see that that's usually the standard across the board if you're working with someone who is professional. But in this particular situation, she had to explain that HIV in particular that people try to weaponize against the queer community does not have a specific name on the chamber, if you know what I mean. Meaning anybody can catch HIV, anybody can catch chlamydia, herpes, etc. No one is immune just because you are heterosexual. So if someone is actively getting tested and having super happy adult fun time with people that are also getting tested and being transparent about their sexual health, there is nothing to worry about transmission. But I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. How do you feel about more queer-based content creators making bisexual content? Do you feel like it's fair that only Sapphire is really getting the back end of the heat and the fire because she decided to cross that boundary and say, I'm perfectly okay with doing bisexual content with queer men, especially if I am being welcomed with open arms in the scene? Because as I looked at that video, it was beautiful to me, not only because they're all very attractive, but also because there was a genuine chemistry in every scene that was shown. I have not seen the full video. I will not come up here and say that I have, but based on the trailer that I saw, it looked like everyone was having a good, genuine time. But I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. And did you see the content? How do you feel about bisexual content making a resurgence in queer content creation? Because as we've seen prior, some content creators dip and tiptoe into bisexual content, such as Ace Rockwood. I know Mike Mann, I believe he used to do bisexual content for a small amount of time. Just back in the day, it was more common to see that rather than the standard binary of gay or straight. For example, we can look at James Angel, who's now getting his butt ate by gay men. Nico, that was an interesting video that I did not expect to fully come out because the first one that came out, he seemed a bit more uncomfortable, but the second one that came out, he just fully embraced it. So it seems like it's becoming a more common thing, and I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. I'm also going to be trying to work on the Where Are They Now series. I saw such a positive outlook and response from everybody about the Where Are They Now series, so I'm definitely going to dig into that. And I actually know a few of the names that y'all listed in person, so I'm gonna see if some of them are more willing to share their story and talk about their journey throughout the adult industry. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys on that one because that one's gonna take some time. And I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Bobby Perez and Princess. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you everyone who supports the channel. And seeing as how we're caught up on a few episodes of the podcast, this week's live stream discussion is going to be another virtual hangout. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, definitely tune in.